don't think people are aware how much work, effort, and commitment you put into these calls. But I'm going to make sure at least every call that you get acknowledged for this beautiful, kind heart and that incredibly powerful German brain you have. Das ist gut. You know,
You're embarrassing me, Francis.
Katrina
Team effort
has a combination of a big, beautiful, loving heart. She can never do enough for you, but she also is a tech wizard. She's so bright, and I'm so honored to have her as a friend. But actually, next month will be 26 years ago that we met.
Wow.
And
that
you actually never went back to that. Isn't that something? Actually, you never went back to that mental institution again, did you?
Silly guy. Hey, I wonder if we could do some testimonials from people on the call. I see we have Bonnie here, and I know Felix is on the call. Would you mind? And even Sheva, I think, just jumped on, and she might want to share what she's.
Oh, great, Sheva. Hey, Sheva.
So anyone who would like to give a testimonial, please unmute yourself, and because it's valuable to everyone on the call to hear how things are going with the patch, whatever patch you're using. Some of the others that mention that too.
Katrina, let's have them say their first name and where they're calling from right now. That would be good.
Bonnie, would you be willing to?
Sure, yeah, I would. I'm in Sarasota, Florida. As you can see, no, we have the same decoration as Amy here. Amy and I are in the same place. You know what I'd like to give a testimony on? I love the X39. It's done wonders. But what I've recently been really impressed with is the Carnosine patch. I hadn't exercised and lifted weights, 3 months, I guess, before I went back to strength training. And so I had seen the athletes use this. I put the Carnosine patch. I really expected to be so sore. And only mildly, I just felt comfortably, my muscles felt comfortably, you know what I'm talking about when you have a good workout and you feel good. I felt good. I didn't have any of that horrible pain that I expected to have when you start lifting weights again after 3 months. That really impressed me.
Now, are you continuing with X39 at the same time that you add? Okay, so you're using 2 patches then.
2 patches. Okay. And then another thing I broke a toe during this, I think it was Mother's Day. I have a gate that swings open to the pool. I was letting the dog out, and somehow the door, you know how freak accidents happen, right? And the door swung back and hit me under my middle toe and bent it all the way back, broke the toe, the joint that close to the inside.
That sounds painful.
Very, it was really very painful. Anyway, it was not. I kept taping it, and it just was taking longer. It seemed like forever to heal. So last week, I heard somebody speaking on some call, but I put the Aeon patch right directly on it, slept with it, and I was amazed at the healing level that took place overnight from that. The swelling so much better, the pain level. I would say that just overnight, it was 50% better than it had been. So
wow.
I'm constantly being like,
patch that's for anti-inflammatory?
Inflammatory. Supposedly, I had bought it originally for stress, for my son gets stressful at times, and I thought I heard that was good for anxiety. But then I started learning, each batch, what I'm learning has so much more benefits to it than just the original benefit. That's what I seem to be learning. I'm learning more. I think I came in, Francis, you came in the end of August. I came in towards the end of September. And it's just been so many changes. I have never, ever worked with any product that is so amazing to me, that it has so many benefits, so many different, X39 especially. Just so
what did you notice with X39 and how long before you noticed something?
Well, it's really different. Bob noticed something almost immediately. I slept, Bob says I forget. I never slept through the night. I was the worst sleeper. He'd turn in bed and I'd wake up. And he said right from the very beginning, my level of sleep changed. I started just sleeping much deeper level, which is good. I was looking for the pain level because when I started, I broke my left wrist twice, and it was starting to really get arthritic, and I was really looking for that. And that took about 10 days to start kicking.
Wow, that's pretty fast.
Bob, he had a bad knee that he had injured in his 20s, And it was really the last 2 years prior to to X39, it was really started to give him a lot of problems. And almost from I would say the first and second day, the knee stopped hurting him, and it hasn't hurt. It's been better since. So.
Wow, that's incredible. Excellent. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So Felix, are you on the call? Would you like to give a quick testimonial? You've been using the X39 and the Aeon for a little bit now. Let's see if I can get him. Is he paying attention?
How about you, Katrina? Can you tell us your story?
Yeah, well, I started with the X39 patch when I went to visit Francis down in Sarasota around Christmas time. That's when I met Bonnie. And we went to a meeting where Onyx Cole was presenting, and she's a real dynamo, and she presented the business opportunity in such a nice way that John and I, after we heard at least 20 people stand up and say what an incredible result they're getting from using the X39 patch just after 2 or 3 months, we thought, okay, we need to look at this. And so we joined and started using the patch after. I actually personally had a little bit of detox. I had a migraine the second day, and then I had, which is something I had in my youth, but I hadn't had recently. And I've learned since then that was an expression of retracement. Old cells being released might express some symptoms. And
yeah,
I can hear you. Okay, we'll get to them next. Anyway, so on the 5th day, I woke up and it was as though a veil had lifted from in my mind. And I hadn't realized that I was stressed or depressed or anything. I was just going along, and I guess my natural state was stressful. And on that 5th day, it seemed like everything changed. And I had this new level of optimism and hope and a general sense of well-being and energy. I felt motivated to get in action. And that has not stopped. It's now June, and I'm still feeling that same level of well-being and energy and motivation. And it's just been wonderful. And I've had more physiological things, improvements in my skin tone, in my hair. I was starting to lose hair. I'm 55 now. And I was combing out big gobs of hair at some point last summer, and I was really worried about it. I was like, oh no, I'm over the hill. I'm 55 and it's really showing. That has all stopped. My hair is not falling out anymore, and it's getting longer and thicker, and I'm so relieved. That's a huge thing. It's a vanity thing, but it also, I think, is an expression of the better level of health that I have from where the X39 is working on the inside and healing things. The other thing is that after about 30 days, John and I both noticed that we had improved muscle strength, whereas we used to drag ourselves out of the car, and we don't have an SUV, and we were actually starting to talk about maybe our next car should be an SUV so we can just roll out of the car instead of stepping out of it. And but after 30 days, I just leapt out of the car to go get something, and I looked at John. I said, "Did you just see that? You didn't even have to push me out of the car. I actually just leapt out of it. I have so much more flexibility and muscle strength." And so that's pretty much all for me. I mean, that was enough for me to say, okay, we're going to be using this for a long time. I'm definitely interested in continuing to have this level of well-being all the time. So I think John and Felix are on. Felix, would you like to talk?
Yes, the problem is because I've been having to deal with seizures a big part of my life, and so I used to being able to absolutely not sleep for like 4 hours, and then waking up feeling like I'm gonna have a seizure. But then I started feeling like I gotta do something, and then after you guys told me that, and I read about the benefits of it, I was like, maybe I can actually be able to finally sleep, and so and it feels like it has actually improved my brain waves, and so a lot of the medications that I I've now been able to get off of, and I used to have, if I didn't use, if I didn't start with that patch, I would have been on, still been dealing with lack of sleep, anxiety, but then as a result now, I can sleep like 9 or 10 hours a night. So basically, yeah, and now I can get off all the really annoying medications that have been bugging me. So yeah.
Felix, one of the other things I noticed was when you first arrived, he's been staying with us for a couple months during quarantine, which has been a lot of fun, and we put him to work, of course. While
Yeah,
he's
I
with us.
used,
He
yeah,
went
I
to
used
work
to
in the
have
garden.
like 3 seizures a day. I mean, it was bad.
Yeah, it was really bad. And the X39, how long did it take for you to notice a difference, Felix?
Like 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? And then what? Tell me more about the Aeon patch. When did you start using that, and what inspired you to use that?
Yeah. So the Aeon patch, when I read noticed that, because I do a really physical job. I have to deal with a lot of customers, and I have a lot of running back and forth at work. So, and that has drastically been able to reduce my stress at work. And yeah.
Have you noticed whether it's making a difference? Was the X39 enough? Feel like you needed the Aeon patch?
Oh yeah, both the X39 and the Aeon patch has given me more energy. I used to feel like I'm gonna fall asleep right on the table at work, and now I can actually carry stuff the whole day and not fall asleep.
Awesome. It's amazing, isn't it? And one of the things we can vouch for is Felix went from having 3 or 4 seizures a week to now he has maybe 1 every 3 or 4 weeks. And it used to be grand mals. And the last few, Felix, they weren't too bad, were they? How would you rate them compared to what you were having before?
Yeah, like now with that now the seizures only last now they only last for about a couple of seconds, but then I used to feel really dizzy in my head. Now once the seizure is over, I actually feel, yes, I do feel tired, but at least I feel like a normal human being after the seizure and not feeling dizzy.
Fantastic. All right. Well, thanks, Felix. Is there anybody else on the line that would like to share what they've experienced?
I have a question for you, Katrina. Do
Sure.
you wear the patch in the typical body positions or places as prescribed?
Yes. Well, we've been
You wear
told
one
that you
patch a
can
day?
wear them pretty much anywhere, but I wear one X39 patch at the top of my spine.
That's where I wear it.
That's the most comfortable place for me. I did try it below the belly button, but I guess because of tight pants or underwear in the way or whatever, I was getting abrasive reactions there. So I moved it back to the top of the neck. That was much more comfortable.
Is it advisable to use 2 X39 patches, one by maybe an injury and one typically on the top of your neck?
We have heard of people doing that, and I would say if you have a sudden need, like let's say you get an injury, I would personally put an extra one on. I think that it doesn't hurt to use more, and there are people who say, yeah, that seems to be working really well. It's possible too that you only use it on the injury site, and that might be enough. But they've only done clinical trials with the patch at the top of the spine and below the belly button, so they can't even speak to whether, they can't promise it'll work. But of course, we've seen amazing
Great.
things.
Thank you.
Yeah. And you know, the great thing about this product is because it's non-invasive, because it doesn't interfere with other medical protocols you're doing, you can experiment with it. It's safe, it's effective, it's not going to hurt you to move it around or to try different things. And so I would encourage you to just follow your intuition, and then if you notice something, to report back to us so that we have that as a possible thing to do as well. Does that help?
Yes, thank you.
Katrina,
Appreciate it.
Yes, John?
else you'd like to add? Go ahead. Chris.
Yeah, like before the X39, it felt like when I was trying to hold the cup in my hand, it made me feel like it made me feel kind of like Alzheimer's. It's like where it's like I almost my brain almost forgot how to hold a cup. So when I was trying to drink something, it was shaking so bad that the whole thing kept dumping right on my shirt or right in my lap. Now I can actually walk around, work, and even anywhere I go, and actually hold the cup steadily without spilling it.
That's fantastic, Felix. How long before you noticed that benefit when you started the experiment? How long did that take to show up?
That took longer. I would have to say about like a month or so.
6 weeks or
Yeah.
something. It was quite a while.
Okay.
Yeah,
Excellent. Thank you for sharing that. That's great. So anyone else want to, if you would like to share, just unmute yourself. We have a couple more minutes before we go.
Hi, Katrina. This is Gina.
Hi, Gina. Welcome.
Hi. Hi. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for being such an amazing host. I'm acknowledging you. So thank you.
Thank you. That's sweet.
You're lovely. And Francis, thank you for having the wisdom and the guidance to get me the X39 because it has been beyond a miracle and beyond a blessing. And that's how I've received it. And that's how I share it. So losing my mobility, wasn't able to work, managing a bed and breakfast, 3 stories, walking up 20, 30 times a day, had knee injury, hip injury, SI joint, and groin injury. And it was getting worse. And my chiropractor said, you're never going to heal this. You've got to stop going up the stairs. Well, that means I had to stop to work. And I just noticed that I'm a very vibrant and faithful person, but I started to notice that I wasn't having as much faith and hope because my mobility was starting to decline. And fortunately, I prayed it in, and Francis stepped in, but I definitely prayed it in. And within 5 days, so I didn't know what to expect, quite honestly. I understood casually, surfacely, the technology. I didn't know much about it other than, you know, what was said. It activates the copper peptides, it stimulates and activates and regenerates the stem cells, right? So that was good enough for me. And I'm very intuitive, so I said, you know, I'm going to try this. But I felt nothing the first night, nothing the second day, you know, nothing the third day, nothing the fourth day. But when I woke up in the middle of the night, I ran to the loo, and I got up and I walked to the loo, and I walked back and I noticed I had no pain. And by the way, I was whimpering every night from the pain because I'm about 120 pounds heavy, unfortunately. And nighttime was a disaster for me, a nightmare. Nighttime was a nightmare for me. So not sleeping well, you know, whimpering from the pain. So I noticed I kind of hopped out of bed and I didn't feel any pain, but I was still sleepy, so I didn't pay much attention. When I wake up in the morning, I hop out of bed, go to the loo, and oh my God, it hit me. I went, wait a minute. I don't have any pain, and I'm not, you know, I wasn't crawling, but I wasn't mobile. I have to tell you, very mobile. Really, it was really bad for me. And then the owner of the bed and breakfast came in, and I was walking over to her, and she goes, wait a minute, what's going on? So basically the 5th day, I can tell you I was completely out of pain in my hip and my SI joint, and I have had many injuries 4 years ago, broke my foot, fell on my knee 3 times. It's a miracle I can even walk. It's a miracle I haven't had a surgery. Injured my hip, my SI joint. So I suddenly didn't feel the pain. And in that moment, I caught a ray of hope that I had not had in 4 years. And I went, okay, this is a miracle. This is a blessing. I don't care about the details of it. I'm going to continue to wear it. And so after 30 days, I was able to walk a little bit. I was living in Santa Monica, and that was great because I hadn't really been able to walk except for up and down the stairs, and that was, you know, the maximum I could do every day. And then fast forward to now, oh my God, so that was around August 30th when I first put the patches on. Fast forward, I love them passionately, madly. I also know that, you know, they're supporting us reflecting our own light, which I think there's great power in that and understanding how our own frequency can be raised, our own light frequency can be raised. I am a testimony to that. Definitely happier, healthier, more vital, more fit than I've been in 10 years. I've started riding my stationary bicycle. Hadn't touched it in 10 years, guys. I ride it 7 days a week. And my son caught me last night at 8 o'clock. He said, "What are you doing? Didn't you walk on the beach today?" I said, "Yeah, I did." I said, "But I'm not going to miss one day on the bike." I haven't had that kind of motivation, you guys, in a decade. Now, I was very motivated, you know, very exercise, you know, consistently since I was like 5 years old. Swam, rode bikes, you name it, right? Walked fast. So I'm so excited that I have the motivation, the inspiration to get my health together, my mobility together, my earth suit together. Because when you feel your best and you look your best, you can be your best. And that's like my little trinity. Feel your best, look your best, be your best. My skin is phenomenal. I dropped a dress size and a half. And I love the X39 the most, but I also love the energy enhancers. They're phenomenal. The energy enhancers actually got me over the hump. The first time I got on the bike, I could only ride for 5 minutes. Okay. And I was like, I'm tired. I don't want to do this. And then I started putting the energy enhancers. Intuitively, I got to get them. And now I'm riding 32 minutes. And I'm also doing a powwow dance, an Indian powwow dance every day for 5 minutes. Just crazy. It's just crazy. I'm so grateful. It's not crazy. It's a huge blessing. It's a huge miracle. I highly recommend, if you want your well-being and vitality and the best you can be back, Lifewave X39 and every other patch they offer is a huge blessing.
That is fantastic, Gina. Thank you for sharing that. That's really inspirational. I'm gonna have to check out those energy patches.
Oh, I love them. I love them. They and then I also wear the glutathione. I love the glutathione. Major. I think the grand trilogy for me is glutathione, X39, energy enhancer, and I haven't really experienced the Aeon patch, but I know some people that have. It's helped them. My son in particular asked me for them. I'm like, really? He asked for nothing. I have to offer everything. But he said he feels happier, has a little more energy, and less stress. So hallelujah, God bless everybody. I'm calling them. I say patch up for peace. These are peace patches, patch up for peace. So that's my little signature, and yeah, phenomenal.
Fantastic. So Francis, do you want to wrap things up? Thank you so much, Gina. Really lovely to have you here.
Yeah, that would be great. It was a fantastic call, and just delighted. The little mini training about commitment with Emily was spectacular. It's great to have everybody on, and this is going to be available as a recording through Katrina. Thanks again, Katrina. And please share this training with your people, because this is a business of duplication. And the more you can get people inspired and understand the vision of what Lifewave is, you won't be able to count your money. Money will never be an issue, but it's about being that benevolent disruptor. People do not like to be disrupted, but they need to be. So anyway, Katrina, thanks. Thank you for all of you for being on the call. and we'll see you next Monday. Okay. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.